Hey guys, so I'm gonna record a very raw video and we're gonna talk about performance, trading, routine, how it is to automatically trade but also how to manually trade, what made me consistent with manual trading, but also now that I'm very active with algo trading, what routine makes me consistent there, because I'm in a sort of a position that I can trade manually. I've been doing that for a long time and I love the markets. We all study the markets and we love it, right? But I will never learn a new strategy. The strategy I've been trading is so mechanical. One day it will be fully automated, but right now it's not really necessary to automate it because it takes me a few minutes a day. So I'm still trading a little bit manual, but like you see on our channel, a lot is automated. And I just want to talk about the routine for both of you guys, what helped me to become consistently profitable with automation, but also with manual trading. So when I started with trading, the first couple of years, I made all the mistakes you can imagine. I followed signal services. I thought that was the best thing to do. I really had the feeling like this trader is good. I really need to copy his trades. And then trying to simulate those trades as well. And what I figured out very fast was a lot of signal providers, more or less 99% of them, are not really profitable. They cannot share an FX Blue or my FX book. They give you multiple targets to hide their overall strategy performance, because sometimes they target 3 for instance, and sometimes target 1. And luckily I didn't really lose a lot of money with those signal providers, but it was something I really was chasing, like the easy buck, the easy fix. And from there, I was trading the news. I was really seeking like a lot of volatilities, a lot of profits, trade NFP right, trade all the high impact news announcements, even though I cannot do fundamental analysis. At least back then I didn't really know how that all worked, and still a lot of news is priced in. So I currently, to be honest, never check like what exactly is a news announcement regarding high impact and all of that. I know what's going on in a week. I know kind of what's going on in the world, but you have so often a bias that just hinders your trading or holds you back. It's like if you are in a long-term short position on a particular currency or on crypto or whatever, like what we've seen this week with Bitcoin, right? Trump did say like, okay, this will be the reserve currency and all of that, and or some other positive news you always have, and then it just tanks, right, instead of rises, or it is just a buy trap. So news is something definitely that I was obsessed with back in the days, but I just skipped. I didn't want to focus on that. And a true example with that was I was reading, I believe, the Euro, or a book about Europe, and that was like, I think 8 years ago or something. I read that book, or maybe 5 years ago. And no, it's definitely longer. And I was reading that, and the point I want to make is I got so biased about shorting the euro based on that book that I really am a person that if I'm reading something, I become obsessed with it, or I'm studying something, I become obsessed with it, and then every decision then is made in with that bias. So news trading and signal services, both were not really something for me. Then I found a manual trading style that resonated with me, that was support and resistance though, which was pretty subjective. You're placing lines everywhere, you target lines, sometimes that holds you back, right? Or you have a lot of doubt and uncertainty, like, is this really the key level or not? So I traded that. I did find consistency with it. And to break that down real fast is, it was not that particular trading strategy that was epic, was the greatest strategy on earth. What I really loved back then, what I learned from the guys teaching it, was the mechanical way of trading it. You had a mechanical routine that you just do your watch list at that time or at the end of the day. Then you have a watch list and the pairs you want to focus on, so you don't have like 28 pairs or a lot of pairs to focus at. You had like most of the cases 1 or 2 pairs to look at during the day, and you knew the trading plan exactly by head. You just knew, okay, I want to see this and we are currently at that key level or something like that. I can execute it. So I learned that, reached consistency with it, even got funding with it. Back in the days, prop firms didn't exist, but I always went for the private funding route. So I looked in my network, I found some people that were good entrepreneurs, made a lot of money, and then I just asked them like, can I show you what I do? And then from there, the ball started to roll, right? So I had a very different approach and a different journey than most of the guys starting right now, because you have prop firms, right? So it's easier in a sense that there's more capital to get. However, if you look at the formula I always share, strategy, and no code, and capital. Capital is now easier, but still strategy is the most important thing, right, guys? You can have the best strategy, but if you don't execute it well, it doesn't work. So that is something else I learned besides having that mechanical trading plan they taught me, was to know, okay, have the consistency to actually execute it the right way with the right rules and at the right time. And from there, I just figured out I want to have I want to solve that small subjectivity still. I was like, I don't want this doubt to creep in every time I'm in a winning streak or a losing streak, that I'm not 100% certain I'm doing the right thing. And I was very disciplined to execute that trading plan, but still it was too subjective for me. And from there I moved to supply and demand trading, so the same strategies more or less on supply and demand zones, and those are the NC zones I always share on our Trading View channel, New Capital FX. You can check there the pre-happen and the after happen post. I share a lot of zones, and you can see most of the cases they predict the markets real well. So that's my manual trading approach. So in a nutshell, tested copy trading, tested signal services, and as long as they don't have an FX Blue or my FX book, don't believe the results, by the way, because on all the signal providers you see multiple targets and a pips gained, all of that. If you take the trades, plot it on your trading view, see the risk to reward. The risk to reward is almost always negative. And as long as they don't have verified performance, just don't do it. That really saves you a lot of time and headaches and stress. So from there, created those zones, and then a few of those strategies I used to trade stopped working that good, so I evolved to really finding my own entries as well, and I'm still trading that style, and I love that style. So hope that journey, there are some nuggets for you guys to take notes of, what I'm saying regarding how my journey evolved from support and resistance to supply and demand, and then where I'm right now. Because a few years after that consistency, I decided to scale up. We also had some capital to hire traders, because my dream was building a trading floor, right? And then I realized pretty fast that it's the most ridiculous dream ever to build a trading floor where you're trading one particular strategy, right? Because you can sit next to me and I can teach you the strategy I'm trading, but then you're just trading the same strategy next to me and we risk more capital on the same IDs, right? So I was too stupid to realize that back then. And I was thinking like, okay, what else can I do instead of building a trading floor with just teaching people one particular strategy? I want to teach people how to find strategies, develop strategies like how I did it, but then no code them. So that is when I went to that automation approach. I was thinking like, okay, cool, I can teach maybe 10 other people to trade, and then I can build a trading floor, build a large fund, and then have all those traders work together. But what if something happens to one guy, or too much success can also ruin a lot of good traders? You also see that. And it's not really repeatable, and it's not really secure for a business perspective. So then I was like, wait, what if we automate all the technical analysis, automate all the strategies? And I know it might be a bit weird, but my brain jumps from topic to topic real fast. So sorry if I go really fast through my journey, but I think these nuggets are the most important ones, and I think you guys can take a nugget and really look into it, think like, okay, this was the thought process, and maybe it helps you, right? That's why you watch my channel, or our channel, to learn something. So I started to have some capital, and we were thinking of hiring someone to also trade with us and then build that trading floor, right? That's where we ended up. And this person, this friend of mine, introduced me to no coding. So how to automate a technical analysis or a technical trading strategy, put it into code without the coding part. So that was perfect for me because I have a manual trading background, not a coding background. And that changed everything for me because now I can build that trading floor and I can teach people how to build strategies, but also I don't have to target programmers or developers. I can target all the other manual traders just like me, right? So that changed everything, and therefore I started New Capital, the educational company. Besides that, I do wealth management and we have a software company. So I have to go through manual trading routine to algo trading routine to managing companies and building my dream, right? So there are a lot of things I am doing at once, but that manual trading part is so easy to do right now because it is easy to do. It sounds weird, but it's just a couple minutes to make that watch list. I look for the zones and then I know my entries, which are even by an indicator right now. So they are created in a custom indicator just purely on how I see the markets and what type of trade I want to take. So that is already almost fully automated as well. And then the algo trading routine, where I teach people how to build, is like what my dream always was, building that trading floor. And right now, the situation we are in currently, it's right now March 2025. We are creating more profitable traders. I am seeing FXBlue, my FXbook results of traders, and we are really changing this industry by doing that. At least that is what I believe. So how does that algo trading routine look like then? To be honest, most of the time is not in trading anymore because while I'm talking here, while I'm sleeping, while I'm doing or working on my other adventures, you know, my algorithms will execute the trades, right? More consistent than I can ever be. Exactly the trading plan I put in the work into to build it, to invent it and to test it. I know it works, I know my data, and the routine now is to just manage the overall algorithms. How does that look? Well, once a month, I run a back test automatically with my algorithm and then see my live trading performance, compare the trades, do my advanced self-review of my algorithm to see was the setup missed or is something weird happening? And most of the cases it's just perfect, right? But I just want to have that feeling that you're still checking what your algorithms are doing. So that is mostly once a month or once a quarter what I do. See, okay, what is the performance? Is the performance still within the boundaries of expectations? So if I run a test before I run it live, I test my algorithm over 5, 10, 15 years of historical data, right? What do you get from that? Well, is it profitable? But besides that, there are more nuggets you need, more key statistics I want to see. That is one, if I risk a certain amount per trade, what is then my max drawdown measured ever? Like maybe your strategy works since 2004. I have many that have a track record that go up like that since 2004, so very good pattern. But if you zoom in on like 2011, you see a negative year, and then it's like, whoa, you need to know that, right? Because if it happens to reoccur in 2027 or something, I'm not getting crazy. And it's like, okay, this one strategy of all the strategies I trade had a bad year, has these periods in the data set, and now it happens again. Fine, as long as it doesn't break that max drawdown. So it's not new data, is how I call it. So let's say in that 2011, as an example, you had minus 10%. Well, then cool. Now in 2027 or something, in a few years, you reach minus 8%. That is still within the boundaries. I wouldn't care at all about that minus 8%. I only care when the max drawdown is reached, because then I have to turn my system off, because that's the rule I have for myself. Luckily, it doesn't happen that often, but that is a routine thing you need as an algo trader. So it's all about checking your trades, checking your performance, and that takes like I said, once a month you can do that, once a quarter if you really have a laid back approach. And that's part of my overall routine with analyzing my consistent results. However, there is another piece in my routine that takes a lot of time with algo trading. And that is that research and development phase. I have a community of traders, the New Capital community, where we have hundreds of traders building algorithms, right? Building strategies. They build something cool, they ask for feedback, I give that feedback, and with doing that, we all create an environment with a lot of profitable strategies, and everyone can pick the strategies they want to use, right? But myself, I love the markets, I love studying the markets, I love the puzzle of the markets. I want to find better strategies than my students as well. And sometimes that works, sometimes not. Sometimes I post something on the Builders Forum and I built a crazy good strategy I'm proud of, and I share that and share the code. And then people gonna import that in their no coding platform, and then they're gonna improve it, and then they come back like, this is now a better strategy. And I'm like, okay. And that is a big part of my trading career still, because that is what I love. Like, a lot of people want to have the freedom of trading, and that's a great goal to have. But when you reach that, what's next? And a lot of people are then doing things they don't really like doing. And I was like thinking, what do I love to do? And that is still being involved in the markets. But you cannot trade more, right? Trading more is not better. In like manual trading, at least, because people just want to trade because they love the markets, I had to channel all that energy to something different. And that's for me really the research and development part of building strategies, thinking about trading plans, and then automating it, sharing with the world, and do it that way. Of course, there are strategies I keep for myself, students keep strategies for themselves. That's all open for everyone, right? I do believe in that balance of sharing a part of your portfolio. We share, of course, a lot of track records online as well, and results and all of that, but we don't share everything, right? We also have good systems we don't share and we keep for ourselves. And I believe all our students have that, but the markets are so big, especially now we are adding crypto, and also in the future we're also gonna build stock algorithms. It doesn't matter if you trade the same strategy with 100 people, 1,000 people or more. Like, I talked with many brokers as well, and if you trade like with a lot of capital and a lot of people, it's of course based on capital, not on the amount of people that trade it. If there are a few people trading a huge amount of capital on like a very illiquid pair, like Aussie CAD or something, or Aussie Kiwi instead of Euro Dollar, for instance, of course your execution will be slightly worse. But if you don't scalp, like we don't have any scalping strategies, then it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. And that's just a raw reality based on having professional feeds, retail feeds, a lot of brokers. Doesn't really matter that much until maybe you have huge sizes. So that's often what I hear, like, do you want to keep your strategies a secret? No, it doesn't really matter much. Yeah. So to summarize this, it's a very raw video. I hope you like it, I don't know, but I really love to share just this whole journey and approach how I see the markets. And I want to do it more often because I want to journal my thoughts as well for myself for later on, right? So if you have questions, comment below. And yeah, this is it for now. I see you in the next episode.